Hello PokeMoshPit. I say PokeMoshPit because I'm being very formal today, not very casual. If I were to be casual, I'd say sup PokeMoshPit, but instead I want to be, very formal and say hello PokeMoshPit, although that does sound kind of retarded. Anyway guys, Zed here, N of the B of the Z, coming at you with the game against the blur against a guy called NightstormZX. And yeah, kind of using a bit more of a standardish team, and he has a Blissey, so all is fair in peace and war, or something. That's how the phrase goes. But he leads off with a Burungeru, as Wild Chase likes to call it, now known as Jellicent, and he sees my rocks coming, so he goes into Volcarona. And this is why you should not be greedy at the start of a game, because he's like, yo dog, I'm gonna set up on you with a quiver dance. I'm like, my name's Skarmory, I'm gonna brave bird motherfucking everything. And what's that, Volcarona? Oh, you can't take a Brave Bird from a defensive Skarmory? Really? Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. So that actually kind of surprised me myself that defensive Skarm manages to one-shot Volcarona. I guess, Brave Bird plus stab plus super effective plus just, everything kills it. So fantastic. Volcarona is out the way. Don't have to deal with it anymore. In comes Drapion, and I really didn't really see the taunt coming, but I kind of suspected he would try something setish, uppish, and I just wanted to do some damage to this Drapion, so I go for the Brave Bird, just continuing the trend of Brave Birding everything, as is the meme. And at this point I'm thinking, well, he's probably going to try and set up some T-Spikes or something along those lines, so I'm going to want to go out to Tentacruel, and I can easily kill him with a couple of surfs from this range, added to the fact that I can rapid spin away those T-Spikes if I so want to. So he's going to go for a taunt straight off the bat, which I kind of see coming, and I think that I just want to kill him first of all, because as long as he's out of the equation, I can safely spin away the toxic spikes and he will not be able to set them back up again. So he's going to crunch me and going to get the defense drop, and judging by how much that does, yeah, that's a Life Orb variant, so he's running a Life Orb taunting T-Spiking Drapion, which is kind of cool, but I do manage to get the delicious rapid spin kill. If you can get a rapid spin kill simultaneously getting rid of hazards, that is one of the most delicious things in existence, and I managed to pull off. So in comes a Blissey. I don't really know what it wants to do, and at this point Tentacruel, my god, can I speak? Tentacruel is kind of fitting the purpose of wanting to set up toxic spikes, so I'm going to stay in. I don't know why I go for the sludge bomb. I probably should have just gone for the toxic spike straight off the bat, but I don't know why. There we go. I guess I just wanted to gauge what Blissey was going to do to me. So he uses Fire Blast and Thunderbolt, and I'm like, what? Really? Fire Blast and Thunderbolt? Okay, that's cool, I guess. I mean, Blissey is generally better as a wall, but if you want to go throw in some special attacks in there, fine by me, not a problem. But I'm hoping and praying to God that I live this Thunderbolt, don't get paralyzed, I manage to get off my second layer of toxic spikes, and I do! Yes! Exactly, I live with 8, and those are 2 layers of toxic spikes laid down on the field. That is delicious. As I say, many things are delicious in life. That is one of the best things. And I have a smidgen left. That is, in fact, a perfect smidgen. Oh my god, I can't speak. As I have said multiple times in the past. And he's going to predict my switch, go for the Ice Beam, leave me on 2, which is like a 10th of a smidgen. In fact, it's more like a 15th of a smidgen, or a 20th of a... do you know what? I'm done with the smidgen calculations here. Let's just shut up and whatever. Dalek's dead. Daleks are dead, so obviously the Doctor has come with his sonic screwdriver and has cured the world of all evils. But now Goku's coming in, he's going to go Super Saiyan 4, and Blissey will not like that whatsoever. So, obviously he does not want to take a close combat, so he's going to go out into his main resistance, which is Altaria. It's going to take Stealth Rock damage, which is not very favourable, but I just wanted to see what he was going to go to, so I'm going to scout with the U-turn, and, it's going to be advantageous because I do have Spec Starmie in the wings. I also have a Mamoswine, but I decided to go to Spec Starmie first. Now, I could have gone to Mamoswine, or I could have gone to Infernape right here, predicting his switch back to Blissey, but I didn't want to kind of over-predict at this point. I was really in control of the match, and if you're generally in control of the match, there's not much point in trying to do over-predictions to speed things up, because eventually you'll be able to win out in the end. So I go for the Ice Beam, and obviously Blissey is going to take nothing from it. It's Blissey. Everyone knows that Blissey just like sits there and sponges like a giant sponge. So the Thunderbolt is kind of obvious, and you know, the perfect thing to go to is my Tuscan Raider here, my Mamo Swine. So I'm going to take that Thunderbolt. Delicious. Why? How many times I said deliciously in this narration? Really, it's getting to be a habit, a bad habit. I don't. It's a good habit and a bad habit at the same time. But blur. Anyway. I really don't see Blissey living an earthquake. I mean, it could do, but I hope it's not going to, and thankfully it doesn't. So I managed to take out Blissey with a Life Orb Earthquake with Stab. That is a really nice, clean kill, and Blissey is finally out the way. So in comes Gallade, and Gallade is in fact the same base speed as Mamoswine, so I'm going to switch out here. I'm not sure if he's going to be a Scarf set. He may even be Jolly. I'm pretty sure my Mamoswine is Adamant, so I don't want to risk a speed tie. I also don't want to risk if he's Scarfed, or risk if he's anything else for that matter that could possibly outspeed Mamoswine. And I know that an Ice Shard will not do much to him, and I do want to keep Mamoswine for Altaria if my Starmie doesn't get to do anything later. So at this point, obviously Skarm's going to come in, and I'm going to take a Drain Punch, sponge the hit, and then try and hit him back with a Brave Bird. But he sets up a Bulk Up, which is going to allow him to live this hit, but in the long run, not really the best of ideas for him. Brave Bird everything is going to pretty much annihilate the Gallade to the point at which Toxic's going to take him out in a couple more turns. He could Drain Punch me and get himself back a little bit, but that's around maybe, what, 50, 60-ish HP he's going to gain back from the Drain Punch, which isn't really going to help him in the long run, because Toxic does stack very heavily, and he's going to go down eventually. So he's pretty much at low health with this Toxic, and I'm going to bring in something else to destroy the Gallade. I can't quite remember what, because I have so many options to just destroy his life with. I'm kind of picking and choosing here. So I'm going to go to the Tuscan Raider. I guess an Ice Shard at this range is going to KO, and there's really not much of an issue that I have with going for it at this point. He has nothing to switch into safely on the Ice Shard, I do believe. I don't really think he has anything apart from... Well, he has Jellicent. He could have gone to Jellicent, I guess, but then an Ice Shard followed up by an Earthquake wouldn't have been favourable, so... or each to their own, but I do want to keep Mamoswine because it's an easy, solid counter to his Altaria, and I'm going to go to Starmie, which is a very nice multi-purpose switch. It not only allows me to take the Scald, if I get burned I have Natural Cure, added to the fact that I have Specs Thunderbolt. So there are 3 reasons to switch in Starmie, and all 3 of them are just perfect for taking on Jellicent. So there you go for the Thunderbolt, and Jellicent is going to die after poison maybe, but I don't think it will because it hasn't done enough, and he hexes me. I live on 39, and he has Life Orb, and I'm like, okay, he's running Life Orb Jellicent, that's cool. So yeah, okay, so he's running Life Orb Jellicent and slightly offensive Blissey. Not what you see every day, but there you go, them's the breaks. So at this point I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to struggle and see how much I can do with struggle, and struggle does a decent amount, but considering, you know, it's struggle and everything, Ferris is going to die, and he's going to roost. But of course at this point I do have Mamoswine left, so I'm going to bring in my Tuscan Raider, and then I'm going to do that bit in Star Wars, you know, that bit where the Tuscan Raider is standing over, is it Luke? I think he's standing over Luke, and then he raises his giant thing into the air, and he goes like, with his stick, like that. That's what the Tuscan Raider, I'm pretty sure he does. And I think, like, in a documentary they said he did it once, but they wanted him to do it again, so they, like, rewound it and put it forward again and again, like a Tuscan Raider, and then he looked like he was spazzing out. That's the kind of the situation right here with Mamoswine and Altaria. I know it doesn't make much sense to people who don't watch Star Wars / aren't gonna get that reference, but I decided to put it in there, so there you go. That is going to be the end of my narration today. I know that it was all over the place, had random references, and was generally a pretty average game, but I thought that I'd try and spice it up, so there you go. I will see you guys next time on the PokeMoshPit. Be sure to like this video, and be sure not to have voice cracks like me, because that's bad. And if you like this, then check out my own channel. Link will be in the description. So clickety-click away. I'll see you guys next time. Love you all. Goodbye. What's up, PokeMoshPit? Zed here, and today I have a game for you against Rich, also known as InertFury. Does a lot of great work for the PokeMoshPit beta channel, and it's an underused game that we decided to have on my stream the other night, which was first time we'd ever played, and turned out to be a really pretty good match. So lots of mind games going on and stuff, so I'm going to kind of slow it down a bit and hopefully be able to explain that a bit more, speed up some sections and all the rest of that. But anyway, it's a pretty straightforward standard lead. I'm going to go for the Ambipom fake out, and he doesn't switch, so either he doesn't want to take anything on his team to take the fake out, or he just either over-predicted, thought that I wouldn't go for it first turn. But he's obviously going to go for the Volt Switch on this turn. He's probably a Specs lead-off, and the best thing for me to go to is my Rotom Heat form, which is a specially defensive variant and can easily take any kind of electric move that he wishes to go for. So he's going to go to his best thing to take on Rotom Heat, which I believe is probably a Life Orb variant of Aerodactyl, carrying Stone Edge, and that is going to threaten me a great deal. So I don't want to take any kind of hit. I go to my Suicune, which is calm as opposed to bold, but it is a Suicune, and it can really take any kind of hit that that a physical attacker like Aero wants to throw at it. So I do dodge the Stone Edge, which is great. It leaves me intact with my HP, and I'm just going to go for the Scald, not going to over-predict early game, and in comes Celebi. So kind of hoping for the burn a little bit, but if I didn't get the burn, it wasn't really a big deal to me. So two alternative thought processes here. He is going to predict me to go for the Ice Beam and is going to fear that with his Celebi, so he's going to go out to his Rotom Heat, whereas on my end I'm afraid of his Leaf Storm, so I'm going to go out to my Rotom Heat, and so we end up with this Rotom Heat against Rotom Heat kind of mini stall war going on. So I do carry the Thunder Wave. I'm a more defensive variant. As I said, I have max special defense. He turns out to be a modest special attack, max special attack Rotom. So basically at this point neither of us really want to switch out, because both of us have things which are, you know, Wally's type things, Celebi and Suicune, and you know, defensive waters, but because of Rotom's scope being both fire and electric, it could go for either an Overheat or a Thunderbolt at any point in time. So basically, we're just going to be Thunderbolting, Overheating, and I Overheat at one point there, just before that turn happened, predicting him to go to Celebi, but he doesn't, and at this point I'm thinking I've got to break the monotony. I'm hoping he's going to go for either a Thunderbolt or a Pain Split on this turn. Thankfully he does go for the Pain Split, and I go out to Celebi. Now at this point I still wasn't aware that he was an offensive Rotom. He did carry leftovers, and so I thought he was a more defensive variant like mine, which is why I'm going to go for the Recover. With Recover I'm thinking I can live a defensive Rotom Overheat and be able to recover stall him until his special attack is so low that he's forced to switch out. So that's my kind of plan there. I don't really have anything else I want to go to. You know, I could have gone to Suicune predicting the Overheat and then got his special attack lowered that way, but I kind of wanted to use Celebi to diminish him and then put me in a strong position to Psychic or Leaf Storm the switch in. But unfortunately he's going to get that crit, and it turns out it's not going to matter because, as I said, he is a modest max special attack Rotom. So here comes a very, very interesting play. I want to get his Celebi into a difficult position, so I go into Azumarill, and because I go into Azumarill, he's going to obviously predict the water move and go to Celebi, and by doing that I force him to go into Celebi, have Ephraim here, have my Heracross, and now I'm in a strong position. He's thought a lot about this move. He was like, is he going to be Scarfed? Isn't he? Is he bluffing it? And I will let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that 90% of the time I do not run Scarf Heracross. I run Substitute Focus Punch, and I will bluff that Scarf like a motherfucker. So that is exactly what I do. I bluff the Choice Scarf, works out to absolute perfection as he brings in his Rotom Heat, and you know, he was predicting the Mega Horn. He's not going to take one. He is going to take a Stone Edge right to the face, and seeing as he is a more offensive based Rotom, I hope that Stone Edge would kill, but because he does have, I guess, a little bit of HP investment, he's gonna live it. Thankfully though, he does get paralyzed, so I'm going to be able to take him out on the second turn with a Mega Horn, and it's going to leave me with a free substitute up, which is fantastic because nothing on his team really is defensive enough now to take any kind of hit from Heracross. Celebi will die from a Mega Horn, Mamoswine will die from a Focus Punch, Aerodactyl will probably die from a Stone Edge, and all he really has to take any of my neutral hits is an Azumarill. Obviously if he went to Jolteon he could bring this thing in now, and what his plan is here is to go for the Volt Switch to break my sub and then go into a Azumarill to threaten me with a priority. However, knowing that he's going to break my sub with a Volt Switch and kind of seeing his plan that he wants to bring in something to revenge me with, I'm going to actually decide to substitute once again. So another good player on my part. And the ball really is in my court at this point because his Azumarill can't do anything to stop my Focus Punch at this point. Something on his team is going to get hit by a Focus Punch, whether it be Celebi or the Azumarill or whatever he wants to do. But I'm going to go for it here. He's going to Aqua Jet, break the sub, and the Focus Punch, though it's not going to kill the Azumarill, is going to do a metric fuck ton because let me tell you, a stab Focus Punch from a Heracross is something that is sore, and look, that actually hit him right in the face. The animation smacked him right in the fucking sucker. So there you go, Azumarill's almost dead. And at this point I'm thinking, you know what, I could probably get Heracross in safely later, set up a sub later as well. So I want it to keep as much health as possible, so I'm going to go into my own Azumarill, predicting him to Aqua Jet me again. But he's going to pull the switch out and go to Jolteon. I'm not sure if he predicted that or not, but he does pull out Jolteon, and at this point he knows that an Aqua Jet is going to kill him. And seeing as the ball is in my park, I have no reason to over-predict at this point, so going to go for the Aqua Jet. And this is where the game starts to turn a little bit more in his favour. He's going to start getting on the prediction game now, and knowing now that I'm going to switch to my Rotom Heat, I'm not going to want to stay in on a Celebi with a banded Aqua Jet, so knowing that, he's going to switch out to his Aerodactyl and make a really nice play because it puts him in a strong position now against my Rotom Heat form, threatening me with a Stone Edge, and I really don't have much on my team I want to go to take a Stone Edge. At this point though, seeing that he's started the over-prediction game, I'm thinking that maybe he wants to over-predict once more and go for the Earthquake, predicting my Suicune to come in. So I'm going to stay in, and unfortunately he just goes for the obvious play, and traps my Rotom in there, kills me with a Stone Edge. But it does allow me to see that he is a Life Orb variant, so I know he's not Choice Banded or any kind of Expert Belt of that kind, so good scouting initiative, I guess, is what it's going to give me. So I'm going to go into Suicune here, and I could go and try and predict his switch here, and go for the Ice Beam, predicting Celebi to come in, but I don't think he's going to go for that. I think it's too risky at this point. I go for any move, and none of his guys would like to take an Ice Beam. Just looking at his team, Jolteon won't want to take one, Mamoswine could take one nicely, but then wouldn't want to risk in case I went for the water move, so he's going to fodder out his Azumarill, and now he brings in Jolteon. And because I'm calm, and I do have max HP, I'm like, you know what, it's a Specs Jolteon probably, but it's Suicune, guys, it's Suicune, and guess what? Suicune lives. So I go for the Hydro Pump. It's a really weird Suicune set, this. It worked in this match, but it didn't work in another match I used it in, so I'm probably going to change it to a more Calm Mind based offensive one. But this one has Scald and Hydro Pump, so it kind of psychs the opponent out thinking you're more defensive, then you pull out Hydro Pump and it manages to pull you through. So now Suicune's not too useful to me. I'm hoping he may over-predict, go for an Ice Shard or an Icicle Crash, but he's going to go for the safe Earthquake. Not a problem. It allows me to scout what type of Mamoswine he is. I see the Life Orb recoil, and therefore that alerts me to the fact he's not Choice Banded or Expert Belt or anything like that. So he's carrying two Life Orbers, Aerodactyl and Mamoswine. So I have no reason not to go for the Fake Out at this point, and I'm going to go for it on his switch to Aerodactyl. And I know that really at this point he doesn't want Stone Edge missing, so even though he could probably take me out with a Life Orb Stone Edge, he's going to go for the safe Earthquake. He doesn't think I can really hit him with much, but I do have a very nice move in my arsenal that is going to kind of give me the real advantage here. It's Low Sweep, and if you didn't know, Low Sweep is a, I think it's like 60 base power or 50 base power move, but it gets boosted by Technician with Ambipom, and it lowers the opponent's speed 100% of the time, which is amazing, because now I outspeed the Aerodactyl. He can't kill me with a second Earthquake, for his Aerodactyl will die, and so I'm going to go for the double hit, predicting him to switch out, knowing he wants to save his Aerodactyl, and he's going to go to Celebi. Celebi is now in a really iffy position. It can stay in and probably take a double hit, but then it'll be at low HP. It could recover up. So I'm thinking he's not going to switch. He may want to try and recover, and that's why I go for my signature move here, which is a Fling. I have Fling with Light Ball, and what Light Ball does when you fling it is it's going to paralyze. Yeah, it's going to paralyze the opponent. But unfortunately for me, he's going to go to Aerodactyl as Death Fodder on that turn, take the Fling, and I don't get to paralyze anything, which is kind of a shame. At this point, I think I'm relatively safe switching out. I'm hoping his Mamoswine isn't going to predict the switch and go for an Earthquake. He's kind of really afraid of my Ambipom at this point, and Fake Out's going to do a great deal of damage to both Mamoswine and Celebi, so he's going to go for the safe Ice Shard, and at this point I think I do have it in the bag. I'm going to go for the Double Edge because it will hit Mamoswine if he stays in, and if he does go to Celebi, Double Edge will most likely KO him, and if not, then I can easily come in with whatever his name is, Ambipom, and finish him off with a Fake Out. So Double Edge does hit the incoming Celebi. It's going to take the thing out, and hopefully I think at this point I have the game. It's just going to take a little bit more prediction. I want to keep Azumarill with the Aqua Jet priority, and I want to keep Ambipom with the Fake Out priority, and I think that with those double priorities I'll be able to take him out. So I'm going to go to my Heracross's Death Fodder that thing out. Earthquake is going to be a 2-hit KO. He's probably just going to finish me off with an Ice Shard because I think Heracross and Mamoswine are the same base speed, so he doesn't want to risk any kind of speed ties. He knows Ice Shard will kill me. All this time I've been racking up a little bit of Life Orb recoil as well, which is going to help me out. So Fake Out's not going to do that much, but an Ice Shard is going to bring him down to where recoil and everything is going to allow me to kill him with an Aqua Jet from Azumarill. So there you go. I think Azumarill maybe could have killed him from about half health anyway, but finish him off with an Aqua Jet as he tries in vain to go for an Ice Shard, and I managed to take the game. So there you go. Really interesting game, really back and forth between the both of us, and I say for a first match that we both played, really really intense and great, predictions on both sides. Ball was in the court on both ends a lot of the time, kind of switching back and forth. But yeah, great game, Rick. I think that's like the first proper UU game I've ever had, and we both just kind of threw 6 things together, both based around a Fire, Water, Grass core and some just other stuff thrown on the side. So really, really good game. I hope if you enjoyed, then you could check out my channel. The link will be in the description, and do go check out Rich as well. He's a great guy, and appreciate it if you go check him out too. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time on the PokeMoshPit, and hope you have a very nice day. See you soon, guys. PokeMoshPit, how are we doing today? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. We've got a game here against LittleRelapse from the Battle for Charity stream about 2 months ago now, quite a while ago. But it was a really fun match. I'm bringing the team that I've been using. I mean, it's a 4th gen team, and I've basically just decided to use it in 5th gen now that Deoxys Speed is in OU. And he's using pretty much a standard 5th gen team, so it should be pretty interesting. Got some cool guys going on, and yeah, so I'm going to lead off with Rachi, who is Calm Mind subset, and even though I can set up all over Ferrothorn all day every day, I'm going to decide to switch out and go to Trunks first of all. I'm susceptible to the Power Whip, I know, but I am very defensive and I can take the hit relatively easily. Plus, I want to lay down my rocks early game while I have a chance, so he gets his up on the first turn as I go for mine on the second, and I know that I can take a Power Whip relatively well, probably live with just over half, and I do live with just over half, so really not too much of a big deal there. And I'm actually going to go for the spin on this turn. I guess in hindsight probably not the best idea, because it's obvious that he can set them up again quite easily, and also I'm going to be taking that Iron Barb's damage, but I was pretty sure he was going to predict my switch, thinking that I wouldn't want to take a second Power Whip, so he goes for the Leech Seed predicting that, which is great, because now I'm going to get the safe switch into whatever I want to go to, knowing that he's most likely either going to set up Stealth Rocks or switch out, wanting to use something else against Donphan. So I'm going to go into Noctowl to take whatever hit, a Power Whip or get in before the Stealth Rocks. That's the multi-purpose switch of bringing Noctowl in then. And he's actually going to go out to Rotom Wash, which although looks like a pretty bad matchup for me, it's not going to turn out, that bad, because first of all, he has leftovers, so I know he's a more defensive build, meaning that I'm going to be able to live the Thunderbolt with relative ease, and there you go, stab Thunderbolt from a Rotom, and I take it really nicely, because not many people give credit to Noctowl's special defense, and mixing special defense with HP, it does make for a really decent special wall. So I'm going to get off a Roost on his first turn of sleep, which is a guaranteed turn that was 100% confirmed, and I'm just going to hope here that he doesn't get a first turn wake up because what I want to do is I want to go for the whirlwind and start, you know, my tactics of phasing his team, getting stealth rock damage on as many things as possible, and, you know, starting that process of really breaking his team down to the point at which I can bring something in later and hopefully clean stuff up. As long as I get prior damage on lots of his team members, then it's going to be a relatively easy thing for me to do, I guess. So in comes Conch Elder, which isn't the best matchup for Sophos. I do have full health and rocks aren't up, so it's easy for me to switch out and switch back in again if I need to do so later. And I'm going to go to Rachi thinking to take a Stone Edge. He's actually going to go for the Hammer Arm, and that, oh my god, that does a absolute freaking monster truck ton. Like, that was like 7 monster trucks falling on my head. Obviously a choice banded set, it can't be anything else, because that would not do that much damage. I go for the Psychic hoping it may be able to take him out. I didn't think it would, just because I'm a timid as opposed to modest, and I don't have any boost from a Carmine, but fortunately he's actually going to miss the Hammer Arm, so that's great. It means Rachi can live another day, and I'm going to be able to go for the Thunderbolt. I go for the Thunderbolt on the Switch, thinking he's going to go to something else to resist the Psychic. I don't know why I went to Thunderbolt. Psychic was generally the better option because he still has Gastrodon left, and he has this thing, obviously, and Psychic would have done a little bit more than Thunderbolt, though it wouldn't have really mattered because its special defense is pretty decent anyway, Latios is anyway. But he goes for a Calm Mind as I switch into Noctowl, and he's going to go for a Dragon Pulse here with Life Orb and +1 special attack from Latios. Look how well Sophos takes that, just over half. I mean, really, this Noctowl it takes hits all day, every day, and it's great. It really, excellent special wall. More people should use it. But I managed to drag in the Conch Elder, and I've got a feeling he's not going to go for the Mach Punch. He's going to predict my switch, predicting his Mach Punch, and therefore I'm going to stay in and go for the Nightshade. Just knowing that I'm going to outspeed him and hopefully going to be able to just take him out clean, which I do. So fantastic, Conch Elder's out the way. I'm not going to be afraid if any choice band priority Mach Punch is coming my way, which is fantastic. So in comes Jirachi. I don't know what type of set he's running. He may be running a Parafusion set or just a defensive, physically offensive set. But it turns out he has a second Stealth Rocker, which is kind of weird. I mean, I wouldn't think that you'd run Ferrothorn with Stealth Rocks and then run a second Stealth Rocker. I guess it's good for insurance, but not really the usual thing to do. I guess you could have used another move slot, but he's going to switch out, fearing, I guess, me to be able to do more to him than he can to me. Probably is a Body Slam variant, which is why he switched, because he knows that Body Slam's not going to be able to do anything to me, obviously. And I can freely set up the sub on the Switch. So in comes Gastrodon, and I know this thing is specially defensive like a bitch, because this was back, we took this match back a couple of months ago, so Thunderous was still running around, so he's running a max special defense Gastrodon set. So I know that if I'm going to be able to do any damage to this guy, I want to be getting up as many Calm Minds as I can. So I'm going to go for a Calm Mind as he brace myself with an Earth Power, and instead of going for the Psychic here, I'm going to go for a second Calm Mind. I guess it probably would have been better to go for 2+1 Psychics instead of 1+2 Psychic. I'm really not too sure about that, but I thought that maybe if I got +2 special defense, I'd be able to live that hit a bit better. I don't take it as nicely as I guess I wanted to, but at this point I'm forced to go for the Psychic. I know I'm probably going to die. I will die from an Earth Power this turn, unless he goes for the Scald, predicting my switch or something, but I'm actually going to crit him and get the special defense drop, so Rachi just pulling out all the stops, Serene Grace special defense drop and a crit, so yeah, fantastic. I mean, that's really diminished his Gastrodon for later on. He can still bring it in and recover potentially, but it's going to decrease its survivability a lot more and make it a lot easier for me to work around it. So in comes Hitmonchan, MVP Hitmonchan. I love this thing. This is an impish set with lots of random EVs around the place, created by Banana292, and a really excellent poke in general. So as you can see, he comes in with Latios, predicting, I guess, the fighting move. And I do go for the Drain Punch, but unfortunately for him, Hitmonchan has the power to, from a Latios from half health, can take a Drain Punch on the switch in and then die to a Mach Punch. So there you go, Latios just died to a Hitmonchan with 2 fighting moves. So there you go. That's Hitmonchan for you. Kills Latios every day, all day, as a champion does. But in comes Jirachi, which I don't want to stay in for. He can most likely body slam, try and paralyze me or something like that, and I don't really want him trying to do those shenanigans. I know Drain Punch won't do too much, judging by the fact he has lefties and Wish and is basically a defensive variant. So I'm going to go into Donphan. I guess just trying to throw an Earthquake his way is probably the best thing I can do at this point. And I know I can live Iron Heads, just granted he doesn't get flinches, but he's going to get a first flinch, hoping I can maybe break through another one, and he flinches me again. So fine, you keep flinching me, not really a problem, but I'm hoping after 2 flinches I might get the Earthquake off. No, he gets another flinch, yep, and I'm thinking I'm going to die from this hit, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to leave Donphan to die. But instead, Ironhead's going to leave me on 1 HP and flinch me, so he's going to flinch me 4 times in a row, which I guess kind of makes up for the fact that I crit hit his Gastrodon and got that special defense drop, and whatever else hacks happened, I can't remember. But there you go. He's gonna flinch my He's gonna flinch my Donphan 4 times in a row, and not good at all. But he's gonna throw up a Wish here. I know that Azumarill can do a decent chunk to him with Waterfall, and I'm just trying to gauge how much it'll do, and it does well over half. So I'm thinking he's maybe more specially defensive, or I don't know. He probably has lots of defensive investment, because that would have done a decent amount anyway. But he's going to try the multi-purpose switch here, which if I'd stayed in and gone for a second Waterfall being greedy, it really would have backfired, because Gastrodon would have not only got Water Absorb, but it would have gone the Wish as well. So I do pull the safe double switch, knowing that he's most likely going to pass the Wish to this guy, and in comes Hitmonchan, who at this point, funnily enough, has the willpower and the capacity to demolish the rest of his team. So judging by the fact that he's a specially defensive Gastrodon variant, he's not going to be able to live a Drain Punch from over half, and I'm going to clean take him out with that Life Orb Drain Punch. Cleans out the Gastrodon. So in comes Rotom. The thing is asleep, and its health is almost max, and I know I get 1 guaranteed turn of sleep, so I'm going to go for the Drain Punch here. Hopefully take him all the way down to the point where a Mach Punch will KO him, and that is an easy range in the red. Mach Punch is going to be a definite KO from Rotom, even after the leftovers. Just judging how much Drain Punch did, and just generally how powerful Hitmonchan is, Mach Punch is going to be able to clean the thing out. So just Hitmonchan doing work. He really is. I love the set. It's impish, max attack, some HP, some speed, some defense. EV's thrown all over the place, like literally all over the place. In comes Ferrothorn. I know it can live a Drain Punch because it's fucking Ferrothorn. It lives things. It just does. That's the rule. It's Ferrothorn and it lives. He could potentially go for the Power Whip, but he guesses that Leech Seed is the better option for him in this scenario. I'm not sure if he's going to be carrying Protect, because that would be kind of annoying, having Protect and Leech Seed going on, but I don't think he will. Standard Ferrothorn don't really run those, unless you're running the Toxic Leech Seed Protect set, the one that I've been using in Ubers, but it's easily going to allow me to take him out with a second Drain Punch, get my health all the way back to full, and at the end of this turn, I'm not going to be losing HP from Leech Seed, obviously, because of the fact that there's no opposing Pokemon on the other side. So all I take is the Iron Barbs and Life Orb, which leaves me at a decent range to where Jirachi here can probably be killed by a Drain Punch, but I'm not sure if it will, if it's going to be able to flinch me to death. But thankfully, Serene Grace is not going to be on his side when Hitmonchan is alive, and I'm going to be able to break through the flinch hacks, get the Drain Punch off, and at this point a Mach Punch is going to be able to take out Jirachi. So I think, I can't quite remember, but I think Hitmonchan killed 5 out of his 6 guys. Noctowl killing the Conkeldurr and Hitmonchan killing the other 5. So Hitmonchan just gone through a team and killed a Ferrothorn, a Jirachi, a Latios. What else did he have? A Rotom Wash and a Gastrodon. So major props to Hitmonchan there, doing some work, and yeah, definitely shows you that you know, stuff with priority and unconventional EV spreads can do well, as long as they actually work in the environment, which has turned out to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the battle, and if you did, then you can check out my personal channel if you would like to. Link will be below. Otherwise, I will see you guys whenever I upload again. But yeah, until then, I'll see you soon. Bye. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is NBZ, and I have an Ubers battle here for you. This one was taken on my stream the other night against a gentleman by the name of DallasBoy1992, and it was a very interesting, interesting match, so we should see what happens and stuff. So, I'm going to lead off with Dialga. He leads with Mewtwo. I do not want to be hit by an Aura Sphere, because Aura Sphere is a terrible move that hurts Dialga greatly, so I'm going to go out to Giratina to try and dodge that predicted hit. Unfortunately for me, he's actually going to go ahead with a Calm Mind, and he's going to try and get an early game sweep going on, which obviously isn't really going to work, because I've got lots of things that can stop Mewtwo at this point in the game. I have everything on my team, and it's not really a threat. So I'm going to bring in Giratina. Thankfully, he's going to go for the Psy Strike, which is going to hit my physical defense as opposed to my special defense. And I'm actually an Impish Giratina, which is going to benefit me greatly. So I get rid of him with a Dragon Tail, just get rid of that stat boost, do a little bit of extra damage to him, and in comes a Palkia. So Palkia is most likely going to be choiced either Specs or Scarf. So I'm going to go into Ferrothorn to take the predicted Dragon move, the Spatial Rend, and Ferrothorn's going to take it beautifully, because Ferrothorn is like better in Ubers than it is in OU. It really is. It's number 2 on the usage stats at the moment in Ubers, and it's number 4 in the OU usage stats, so that should tell you everything you need to know. But I'm going to predict him to switch out, and so I'm going to pull a double switch. I'm going to go to Dialga because it's a Scarf thing, and it's probably going to put me in an advantage as to whatever he's going to bring in. And he brings in his Extreme Killer Arceus, which I know that it cannot kill me with a Brick Break at this point, and I know if he wants to go for a Swords Dance, he won't be able to go for a Brick Break after the Swords Dance, because I'll still outspeed him with my Choice Scarf. So he's going to go for the Brick Break instead. He's not going to kill me, do about 75%, but of course he knows that I'm going to be able to kill him with a second Draco Meteor, so he's going to switch out to Ferrothorn. I actually miss, which isn't going to matter because it's a Ferrothorn and it would have taken it anyway at -2, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go into Rayquaza, which has Fire Punch, which I shouldn't have on it. It's actually not, it never learns Fire Punch, but this was from Tony's database, and apparently Tony put Fire Punch on it instead of Overheat, so I probably should change that at some point. It doesn't really matter because it's actually worse than Overheat in this situation, because in comes Palkia, does nothing to it, and now I'm going to be forced to go out into Ferrothorn again. So I hope that he's just going to go for the Spatial Run again. He does, and I'm kind of got in the back of my mind that I don't want to be switching Ferrothorn in on Palkia too much, because he may go for a double switch at some point, predicting it, or he may get wise to the fact that Ferrothorn is a solid counter to his Palkia and I can switch it in any time. So I'm going to go for the Leech Seed on the switch. In comes Giratina O, and this thing doesn't really threaten me too much. I don't even know, does it get Focus Blast? I'm not sure, but that would be probably the only thing it can threaten me with other than HP Fire, and even though HP Fire would be doing nothing in the rain anyway, so I'm going to protect just to see what he's going to go for. He goes for the Draco, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure why he goes for that, because it's really not going to do too much to a Ferrothorn. So he stays in here again. I get the Toxicroak, and he's actually just going to Dragon Tail me out, so he looks like some kind of mixed, bulky Giratina origin. Kind of weird kind of set he's running, but he's going to roar me out, and I'm going to go out to my Kyogre, and I really don't think he can threaten me with anything, and I've got a feeling that if he wants to go for a Draco, then it's I don't know how much it'll do, but I'm thinking, you know, even if he wants to go for that, he's eventually going to die from Poison and Leech Seed, so I'm just going to stay in and go for the Water Spout on the off chance that he wants to switch, and he's actually packing the Thunder, so that's going to do well over half to me. I'm kind of afraid that Water Spout won't kill, but then again, it is in the rain, and it's a Palkia, and it's Specs and Modest, and he's just about half health, though it does kill it anyway. Even if it didn't kill it, Toxic and Leech Seed would have killed him regardless, so it was a safe way to get rid of him, which is great, because now that Giratina is gone, there is nothing to stop an Extreme Speed sweep from Arceus. So I know I've got Arceus in the wings. I want to start setting up Swords Dances late game once everything has lots of damage on it and stuff. So in comes his Mewtwo. Kyogre doesn't want to take a Psy Strike, so I'm going to go into Giratina to take the Psy Strike, and I'm just assuming he's going to try and keep hitting me, try and kill me, thinking that I'm just going to Dragon Tail him out, but I'm actually going to go for the rest. I really do like Giratina, Impish Giratina in this generation, mainly because of the addition of Dragon Tail. It makes the set a lot more viable. I didn't really like the Rest, Sleep, Talk, Will-O-Wisp Dragon Claw set, because it just had lots of issues with things, and Dragon Claw wasn't very powerful. But Dragon Tail, however, is a much more useful move, and as you can see here, I'm going to Sleep Talk a Dragon Tail, which is going to be so helpful, because not only is it going to do a hell of a lot to the Palkia, but it's also going to get rid of it from the field and not allow him to go for a Spatial Rend, which is fantastic. And so he's going to bring Mewtwo in, and I still have one turn of sleep remaining, so I'm going to Sleep Talk, hopefully get either Dragon Tail or a Will-O-Wisp. Either will work for me, I just don't want to hit a rest. And I actually am going to hit the Will-O-Wisp, so I'm going to get a little bit of residual damage. Not going to be that useful on Mewtwo, because of course he's a specially offensive attacker, but it doesn't really matter at all, because he actually carries the Lumberry, which I find relatively interesting. That's kind of cool. So there you go. I'm just going to Dragon Tail him out, but unfortunately on the wake up I'm going to miss the Dragon Tail, so that's not good at all. He's going to go for a Thunder here. Not sure why he went for that. Probably I think what he wanted to do was he was fishing for the Parahax. I guess that was interesting enough. I think he should have just gone for a Side Strike, to be honest. But in's going to come Palkia, and I'm thinking at this point he knows Ferrothorn's going to come in. He knows it. He's not going to go for the Spatial Rend, but he does. So I should have switched Ferrothorn in just to sponge that hit nicely, but unfortunately he's just going to go for the Spatial Rend, take out Giratina, and yeah, unfortunately it's going to go down. But now I know he's going to be locked into Spatial Rend. He's been switching out every time on Ferrothorn, so I'm pretty sure he is choiced. So I can safely go into it and set up a well, the thing is, though, that I didn't want to set up anything because I knew he was going to go into his Ferrothorn, so knowing that, I'm going to double switch and go to Kyogre. I guess I could have gone to something better to take his Ferrothorn on. I realised that when I went out to Kyogre, I didn't have enough power for a Water Spout, so I just hit him with a Surf, and unfortunately a Power was going to take me out. I wanted, you know, I thought Kyogre was a better health for some reason, and then I brought it in, and then I was like, oh crap, this isn't the best situation. But Surf still does a hell of a lot to Ferrothorn, because Kyogre is just monstrously powerful in the rain. So in comes Dialga, and I know it's raining, but this Dialga does carry Fire Blast on the off chance that the opponent has a Sun team, which is quite often actually, because it's Ubers and that happens a lot. But unfortunately he's going to live with like a little baby smidgen hanging on, and Fire Blast isn't going to take him out. I believe he lived with 13 HP from what I saw of his end. So yeah, really unfortunate that that's going to take the hit so well, and is going to be able to get rid of me. So I'm going to bring in Rayquaza here, and he's going to go out to his Kyogre, which I guess can't really take too many hits, especially physical ones, that is, because its physical defense isn't that great. So I'm just going to go for the Earthquake, either to kill the Ferrothorn or to hit whatever came in, and Kyogre came in, so not really a trouble for me to deal with. He's going to go for the Ice Beam. Ferrothorn can take any Kyogre hit, apart from maybe like a Water Spout in the rain at full health, which like almost kills Ferrothorn, which is just scary as hell. But I'm going to live with 1 HP with Ferrothorn, freaking like the smidgen of the century, and I miss Leech Seed, which is just like, ugh, really annoying, really annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect here, get as much lefties back as I can. I want to get to a point where Ice Beam cannot KO me, so I'm going to go for the second protect. I get the double protect. I'm thinking if I get 4 in a row, if I get 4 protects in a row, I can maybe live an Ice Beam and hit the Leech Seed or something. So go for a third, and I hit the third protect. I get 3 in a row. Come on, I got to get the 4th one. I want to get this 4th protect. It really isn't very consequential for the rest of the match, but I want to get it. I go for it, and it fails, and I'm like, oh, damn it. So close, so close. I wanted to hit that 4th protect. That would have been hilarious. But I actually get 3 in a row, which is kind of it's just funny that I actually managed to pull that off. So I'm going to bring in Arceus now, which can easily KO the Kyogre with an extreme speed. And what he has left, at this point in the match, I forgot that I killed Giratina, so I was still afraid of Giratina running around. So I didn't want to set up a Swords Dance and start sweeping, because I was still afraid of the thing. So in comes Ferrothorn. I can kill it with a Brick Break. That's fine. That's fine. The thing's out of the way. And now in comes his Arceus, and this is what it really comes down to, is to who can win the extreme speed tie. And I managed to take that the speed tie victory, which is great. Get rid of his Arceus, which allows me now to do some work on Mewtwo, and Mewtwo is in fact is going to live the extreme speed, which I really didn't expect. I guess it's more bulky than I give it credit for, but it lives it from just over half health, and it's going to kill me with an Aura Sphere. But thankfully I actually have Rayquaza still in the wings, and as people know who know the team that I've been running, this is a choice banded Rayquaza with extreme speed. The thing I really love about this team is having 2 extreme speeders with such broken power, with Arceus with life Form, Choice Band Rayquaza, you know, just with extreme speed as well, just hitting hard, and it's going to be able to clean out the last two guys, Palkia and Mewtwo, because of course Palkia cannot do anything against Choice Band and extreme speed, and it's going to go down. So I'm just going to win that one. I think it was a 2-0. No, it's a 1-0. It's a 1-0. Rayquaza was my last guy because he killed Arceus. But really close game, very fun Ubers match, and I really do like using this team, so it's good. So anyway, if you did enjoy, then you can leave me a like. That would be much appreciated. Help the Mosh Pit out. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, you may go check out my channel. The link will be in the description, and you can clickety click and all that fun stuff. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time on Mosh Pit, and until then, hope you have a really nice day. Goodbye. What's up, PokeMoshPit, NBZ here, and today's match is a relatively quick one. I'm using a combination that I do like to abuse frequently. Is the combination of Rain with Trick Room, so aptly named Rain Room, one of my favourite things to abuse in the current meta game. It's just fun, and I like using Rain with different variations on it, and Trick Room is just happens to be one of those. So I'm going to be leading off with a Politoed. Just this isn't your standard Politoed. It's kind of something I decided to randomly use. It's sub 3 attacks. I think it's timid, so it's not that powerful. But sub on standard, you know, Politoed can work really nicely, and it works against a couple of leads here and there and stuff. So he's leading off with Virizion, and he's going to Swords Dance on the first turn, which is really scary, actually. I mean, I don't have a lot on this team that can handle Virizion that well, and I mean, setting up generally on the first turn is not a good idea, but looking at my team, he actually can do quite a bit of work to me with Virizion if he plays it correctly. But I'm going to let Politoed die because I really don't want him setting up anything else upon switch out, and I don't want to take a hit with anything. So I go into Wobbuffet, and here was kind of the crucial moment as to whether I was going to predict him to go for the physical move and try and bounce it back at him, or just to see whether he's going to be greedy and go for the Swords Dance and encore him. He does decide to be greedy, which is fantastic because I encore him into the Swords Dance. This now allows me to go into Clamperl, and I've got a couple of turns here to do whatever I really want to. I can surf him. It doesn't really matter because I've got 2 turns. Like, he can't hit me after this one, even if it doesn't take him out, which it doesn't. He lives with a tiny minuscule Smidgelet, and he's just going to save that thing for later, I guess. So he's going to go out to Kecleon to take the next surf, which is going to do a hell of a lot to the Kecleon. It's going to take him down to maybe like a quarter of his health, but I mean, I was still surprised by how much Surf did to Virizion, judging by the fact it's resistant and it's got pretty damn nice special defense. But I guess that's the power of Clamperl for you. It really does pack a heavy punch in Rain. Although Kecleon has sponged that hit very well. I mean, it's taken a Clamperl hit, which not many things can do. So that's good to know, I guess. For what kind of spread he's running. He's much heavily invested into the defenses. So I go into Reuniclus thinking, now that I've changed him to the water type, I have the potential to do some work on this thing, as long as I set Trick Room up. So he's going to Thunder Wave me, which is actually going to help me now, because now I have Trick Room up and I'm paralyzed. I am pretty much the slowest thing possible. So I can now outspeed him on this turn, go for a Thunder. If I don't take him out, then I guess I can just spam it and keep going, because I doubt he'll be able to recover more than Thunder is doing. So I go for it, and it does a lot. I mean, it doesn't quite take him out, but I do manage to paralyze him, which kind of brings into effect the potential of going for, you know, Parahacks and stuff happening. But it doesn't really matter too much, because I'm going to outspeed him on this turn. He gets his Stealth Rock up, which is not going to play a huge factor. I don't have anything majorly weak to Stealth Rock. I don't really have a Spinner either, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference to my team overall. So he's going to go out to Espeon after I kill him off with a Psychic, and he does not realize that I'm actually packing Shadow Ball on this thing. But to be honest, it didn't really make much of a difference in his mind, because he's actually packing a Focus Sash on his Espeon, which I would say is very strange. I never really see that kind of mid-game Sash, unless you're running a Magic Guard abuser like Alakazam, and you're running a mid-game Sash. I never really see that going on. So he just so happens to pack it. He goes to the Shadow Ball, and I'm thinking, it's fine, I can kill him on this next turn because I'm faster with Trick Room. and I get paralyzed, which is kind of frustrating because it now allows him to 2-hit KO me with the Shadow Ball, and Runiclus is going to go down. It's not too big a deal because Twisted Dimensions do return to normal on this turn, and that's perfect because it means it allows me to bring in my one non-Trick Room abuser, which is Choice Banded Floatzel. This thing isn't Swift Swim because obviously that's banned in Rain. It is Water Veil, and that can help quite a lot actually for the team. I mean, switching in to take burns and stuff, which it's not affected by, and other such good stuff like that. So I take him out easily with a Waterfall. In comes Curem, which I cannot hit very hard. I can try with Waterfall, but it won't do too much to it, so I'm going to opt to switch out to Wobbuffet, trap him in there, and kind of see what he's going for. He's most likely going to be Scarf or Specs, and depending on what move he goes for, I can relatively easily kill him by mirror coating the damage right back at his face. So he goes for the Focus Blast, and it does a relatively decent amount. I'm not going to be able to one-shot him with the mirror coat after the amount that Focus Blast does, but I'll be able to live 2, and I'll be able to fire 2 mirror coats back against him in succession, which will allow me to you know, get rid of that thing from the field of play. And it could have been a real threat. I mean, Curem with a Scarf, especially running around with Draco Meteors all over the place, can definitely be a huge pain in the ass. So he's going to go for another one here, and thankfully he's not going to get a crit or anything. It's just going to be, you know, not very effective damage. But Wobbuffet is doing well on this team. I used to have Jellicent here, but I switched it in for Wobbuffet, and Wob's doing a nice job actually. I really do like Wobbuffet. It's kind of, I guess, underrated. I think it's BL at the moment or something, but I definitely think more people should kind of try using it because it fulfills that niche of stopping particular choice item pokes, which is nice. It's very nice to use. So he brings an Arcanine. I don't really think that he can kill me, but then I realize, oh wait, Arcanine gets Crunch. I guess that was because I was under the impression I'm very much used to running Arcanine with Close Combat, Wild Charge, Extreme Speed, and Flare Blitz, so I don't have Crunch on my Arcanine set, so I often kind of forget that it has it in its arsenal. But he manages to take me out with it. It's not too big a deal because I now have Floatzel, which outspeeds a large majority of his team. It just really is that fast. I mean, it doesn't really need Swift Swim because Floatzel just has a really great base speed in general. So I managed to go for the Waterfall and take out the Virizion and switch in. It was kind of acting as death fodder for him at this point. He does have Scizor here, and I'm thinking this Waterfall should take him down to like red health at least. I mean, normal Scizor, it would do that much, but it does a really disappointing amount, and I'm adamant with Choice Band. That does a really disappointing amount with the Rain Boost and everything. So judging by the fact he doesn't kill me with X Scizor, he's most likely running a very defensively based Scizor set, and he isn't carrying Bullet Punch either, which I found a real surprise. So I'm actually able to take out that Scizor, and his last guy's an Arcanine, which Floatzel will be able to do some work on, clean the field of the Arcanine, and I believe that's going to be the game as it is his last poke. But yeah, I guess it was a relatively fun match. I have a few games like with this team, and it's a fun team to use, you know. It's difficult to pull off against a full-on OU team, which of course he wasn't using. He was just using a mix of dudes, some random crap here and there. But it's definitely a really fun team to use, and it's quite anti-meta game. You know, Trick Room generally tends to fill that gap of being a relatively anti-meta game style of play. So yeah, it's good. So anyway, if you did enjoy this game, you can go check out my channel. The link will be in the description below. I post content of this sort 4 days a week, so I hope you will go do that. If not, you can leave a like for the Mosh Pit and sub it if you so wish to. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time I upload here, whenever that may be. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day, and I will see you later. Goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen of the PokeMoshPit, hello, welcome. My name is MBZ, and I am talking at a pace which far exceeds that which I usually pertain to do. And that didn't even make sense, but I use long words to make myself sound clever, and others not. And that sounded even worse, so well done me. I'm digging myself. Here I go with my shovel, digging a hole already, and I haven't even started. But today's game is not a very good game in any way, shape or form. But you know what? Sometimes you need to upload games that are terrible, just to show you that I don't know. I've lost my train of thought, and I don't even care. But we're just going to play against this guy, whose name I forget, but will probably be in the title. So, Anyways, I lead off with Mence, and he leads off with Kajondo. I'm like, Kajondo, you ain't got nothing on me apart from Stone Edge, so I'm going to predict the Stone Edge. I'm going to go into Rhyperior, but he just goes for the Fake Out, which is another alternative move he could do, Stone Edge or Fake Out, so both of them kind of work in my favour. Obviously now, though, High Jump Kick is the prime mode of method of choice that he would want to go for. So I'm going to go back into Mence, and decides to actually U-turn on this turn. So I get the Intimidate off, make sure that it doesn't really do anything to me, and you know, allows him to switch out easily on the Mence to go to something else to combat it appropriately, which would be in this case Slowking. Now Slowking is a really bulky thing. It's the most bulky thing that I really know of, and it's annoying and it's a big pain in the ass. So I go into Victini just to directly threaten it with the Fusion Bolt, and he paralyzes me, which is terrible, and I get Power Hacks on the first turn, and he scalds me, and I'm like, well, fuck, this is like the worst thing ever. But the funny thing is that I'm actually faster than Slowking, even after he's paralyzed me, which means Slowking is certainly living up to its name of being a slow king, and it's a king because it has a crown on its head. It's slow because its base speed is in the dumpster. It is that bad. So I smack him in the face with a Fusion Bolt, with a Choice Band, and it doesn't quite kill him, obviously, because I lack stab. He lives with a little smidge right there, and I'm unfortunately going to die to a Scald. So Victini goes down. Not too big a loss, to be honest, because I have multiple things that can combat stuff on his team, and yeah, not really too much of a problem. So I'm going to go into Dugtrio because now I don't want him switching out and getting Regenerator, which is perfect, because now I've brought him into a range where Dugtrio can easily take him out with an Earthquake. And if he had switched out and got Regenerator, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this game would not have been very easy, because Slowking is a giant pain in the ass. It really is. So glad to get that thing out of the way. And he sends in this Haxorus. I'm thinking, you know what, I don't really care about what this Haxorus is going to do, so I'm just going to hit it with an Earthquake. I actually crit him, which is very fortunate, because this Haxorus could have gone frickin' AWOL on my... not AWOL, why, that doesn't even make sense. It could have just destroyed my life, really. It really could have destroyed everything that I had worked for and everything, because you see the normal Earthquake does pretty much nothing to him. I stay in with Dugtrio because I have a Focus Sash, and that's really the only reason I would do so, because, you know, Sash is great and very useful. And I'm outspeeding this Haxorus even after he goes to +1, so I don't know what kind of EV investment he has going on there, but Dugtrio is fast, and it outspeeds +1 Haxorus, which is pretty nice. It's pretty good. So he brings in Kajondo. Is probably going to go for the Fake Out, which I don't want to take again, so I'm going to go into the Punisher, and I hope that the Punisher will be able to go for a Rock Polish on this turn. I'm hoping that he might miss the High Jump Kick or something. At this point I'm not really too bothered, because I just want to Rock Polish and get my speed going, and hopefully do some work on the rest of his guys. So I Rock Polish here, and I'm going to smack him with either an Earthquake or yeah, I have Earthquake, and Stone Edge wouldn't work because he's resisted to it. It's a resisted hit on him, so obviously not a good idea to go for Stone Edge. So I go for the Earthquake, and he has a Focus Sash, of all things a Focus Sash, and I'm like, well, fuck, that's a fucking Focus Sash, and I'm gonna die. So I do, and he hits me with a High Jump Kick, and I die. So pretty terrible. Pretty damn terrible, I have to say, if I was to be honest. Now, in comes Sheikah. Mence is going to Intimidate once more, and Mence has been a pretty solid thing to take on Kajondo for the whole of the game so far. So far, it's been a pretty good thing to take on the rest of the guys, so I decide to go to Mence and take the hit really nicely, which is pretty damn good. So, in comes Miltank, and I'm like, well, I'm going to Earthquake, because I didn't want to lock myself into Outrage prematurely, because he has that Wormadam, which is like a steel type Wormadam, and it could probably stop me if I went for Outrage. So I went for the Earthquake. Does a decent chunk. Miltank's very physically defensive, as people who are familiar with Miltank know. And at this point, I just really need Death Fodder, so I'm just going to go into Dugtrio, hoping that he might go for like a Roost. Not Roost, really? Because Miltank has wings. Yes, totally. Miltank learns Roost, everyone. Public service announcement. Miltank gets Roost. I meant Milk Drink. That's how can you confuse Milk Drink and Roost, man? Seriously. Anyway, Lucario comes in, and this is pretty much game, because I'm going to be able to Swords Dance on his switch into Wormadam, and from this point onwards, I'm pretty much going to be able to sweep the rest of his guys. So there you have it, that's pretty much what's going to happen. Lucario is just going to go like boom, 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 and this is the thing, I just find Lucario is so underrated in general. It's so awesome. It's not like it needed much help to take out an Electrode or anything, but you know, obviously Fake Out doesn't do anything because of that ability, whatever it's called. It's not Steadfast, the other one, Inner Focus, and I'm able to kill the rest of his guys Lucario with Life Orb. So there's the game. As you can see, it wasn't a very good game. I don't care, because I have no reason not to care. But yeah, if you like this video and my voice, you can click the link in the description, which will take you to my channel, and you can go have fun there. I do stuff like this semi-regularly. So yeah, bye. Ladies and gentlemen of the PokeMoshPit, hello, my name is NBZ. I haven't been here in a diddly old time, so I have decided to bring you a match today, which is an Uber's game against someone by the name of like Diddy Kong 30 something, or Diddy Man, or like Diddy. He has D's and I's and numbers. That's all you need to know. But we clearly have some sun going on here, some sun games, weather being very shiny and bright outside, obviously at this time of year. Maybe sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but seems appropriate, so we're going to get into it nonetheless. So I lead off with my Scarf Dialga, and he has a Reshiram in the lead spot. Now I obviously am not sure as to whether he is scarfed or not, but I have a feeling that he is most likely Specs. Most people do run Specs Reshiram on sun teams. Just Reshiram in general is better with Specs, I feel, just because that raw power under the sun really gives you a hell of a lot of damage output on other things. So I decide I feel safe staying in. I'm going to go for the Scarf Draco, and I really don't care if Blissey comes in. I score a crit on it, which really doesn't make too big a difference because it can easily soft boil that off later. And I decide to go into my Groudon. Now, he actually switches on the same turn as I do, and I guess what he was thinking was he could take advantage of the special attack drop and go for the Stealth Rock as I had to switch. But we both have Groudon in here, and both of us predict the Stealth Rock on the same turn. So we both go out to the one thing on our team which we do not want to be hurt by the Stealth Rock, which is kind of funny. So he goes on his Reshiram not wanting to take Rocks damage, and I obviously want to go into my Ho-Oh not wanting to take Rocks damage, and I get the much better switch in, because not only can I outspeed the Reshiram, but I also have Earthquake with which to threaten it out, and I can easily go for that. So in comes the Giratina, which I actually managed to crit with the Earthquake, funnily enough, and it doesn't really make too big a difference, simply because Giratina has Rest, and he will actually end up using Rest at some point in the match, so it didn't make a huge amount of difference. The only real factor at plays here is that he is kind of forced to get rid of me with Dragon Tail. He could have rested on that turn, but even if he had rested, Sleep Talk wouldn't have ensured he would be able to do anything to me. The thing with Giratina is it can't do a lot to Ho-Oh. The only thing it can do is Dragon Tail it out, because Will-O-Wisp obviously isn't going to affect it in any way. So I bring in my Groudon, or I get sent into my Groudon in effect, actually, because he Dragon-tailed me into it, and the problem here is that Groudon just doesn't have enough attack investment. I have made this Groudon set very bulky. Not only does it lack attack investment, it lacks stab on Dragon Claw, which means I am unable to KO the Giratina with a Dragon Claw, and I get hit with a burn, which practically makes my Groudon useless at this point. I still am good to use it for Thunder Waves, and I did get my Stealth Rock set up on that turn as he switches to Reshiram, so I do have some kind of use left in it, but what I feel is the best thing to do is to stay in here and to gauge what type of Reshiram this is once and for all, and it really is clearly Specs at this point. I should have really known by this point what it was, but it's just a confirmation. He takes me clean out. If he hadn't done, I would have been able to hit him with a Thunder Wave and just made my job a lot easier, because, you know, Ho-Oh could have come in and easily just revenge killed it with an Earthquake. So he actually is able to outspeed me. I guess that my Ho-Oh isn't running as much speed as I think it has. But thankfully, because he got the special attack drop on the first turn, he is unable to KO Ho-Oh. I live with 26. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that things in Ubers do live when you do not expect them to. However, I did expect Ho-Oh to live that hit simply because Ho-Oh's special defense is pretty much through the roof. It's one of the best special defenses in the game. People do underestimate how well it takes special hits, and so it can come in on Ubers and do a very good job. So I managed to get myself back up to full health, roosting on the first Draco and roosting on the switch to Groudon, which now allows me to kind of go for a Sacred Fire, hopefully get a burn. I most likely will, just because it's a 50-50 chance, and I do score one, so that's fantastic. It means that even if he is packing the Stone Edge, that will not be able to take me out. because I've burnt him, I'll probably be able to live with a tiny amount of HP. He in fact decides to go for the Thunder Wave, so I'm guessing that this Groudon is more of a set kind of like mine, very defensive based, with T-Wave, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock, which he actually decides to set up on that turn. So I'm actually not going to be able to find out what his two offensive moves are, because a second Sacred Fire, after taking into account the burn damage, is going to be able to clean the Groudon out. So I'm looking okay here, not too shapely, but he brings in Giratina, which isn't, well, I guess it makes sense in this scenario because he's able to get up the rest. The thing that I question from him is the fact that he decides to stay in with Giratina on Ho-Oh. Now, as I established previously, Giratina does not have anything that can really do to hit Ho-Oh hard. The only thing he can do is hope to get the Sleep Talk Dragon Tail and phase me out, which would basically cripple me for the rest of the game, because at this point my health is almost at half, and if I were to come back in, I would definitely be at the killable range, right low in the red because of Stealth Rock. So he just decides to stay in here. I guess he just decides to keep Sleep Talking, or something like that. I'm not really sure what he was doing, because it doesn't really make much sense to me. But he decides to leave Giratina here. He isn't waking up anytime soon. I guess the next turn he would do, or a turn after that. But I'm just cleaning him out with the Brave Birds. Another Brave Bird will kill him from that range. And this is also something I question. Why he sent Reshiram in on my Ho-Oh, knowing perfectly well that he would probably die from the hit. I'm not quite sure why he did that. Maybe he was banking on the paralysis, and he thought that Giratina was more useful to him. Though Giratina now has its sleep turns reset, so when it comes back in, it's going to have to sleep for 2 more guaranteed turns, which I personally would have sacked Giratina, then brought in Reshiram fresh and been able to get the KO off. But unfortunately, he's going to waste his real powerhouse in Spectre Reshiram, and I am going to bring in my own Spectre Reshiram to threaten him. So, seeing that his Darkrai switched, I am under the impression that it is not a Scarf Darkrai. The reason for this is that because if he was a Scarf Darkrai, he would have no fear of being outsped by a Scarf Reshiram. So what I thought he was doing is being afraid of me having the Scarf, and therefore deciding to go out into Blissey to take the Scarf hit, or to, you know, just take whatever. It's Blissey, it takes special hits. Unfortunately for him, Blissey doesn't take special hits well from a Specs Reshiram when it's punching a punch, yes, punching a punch with the fusion of the flare under the sun. Definitely not going to be able to live it, and I managed to take the thing out. So he does bring Darkrai in now, knowing that I'm Specs just because of the amount of damage that dealt to Blissey, and knowing that he can easily put me to sleep with the Dark Void, which is exactly what he does here. I feel there's no reason for me to switch out at this point. I still have Arceus in the back of my pocket, and I still have Rayquaza, both of whom carry extreme speed, and both of whom will be able to clean out both this Darkrai and also the Giratina, because it is such low health and it's asleep. So I'm going to go into my Dialga here. That is the third thing that I do have left, and Dialga, obviously being Scarfed, will be able to outspeed this Darkrai because he has revealed the Life Orb, and I can go for the free Draco Meteor without any risks on my kind of side of the field. So I do that. Giratina comes in and dies. As you can see, he really didn't achieve much by saving it. As I said previous, if he had sacked it, he may well have put himself in a little bit of a better position than he was in, but I guess that's how it goes sometimes. The one threat that he does have left, however, is Blaziken, and I'm a little bit afraid of Blaziken. I know that with +1 speed and with a Sword Stance or something in the sun, with High Jump Kick, with Flare Blitz, it's a pretty offensively power-based thing which kills things really well, even in Ubers. So I actually managed to outspeed him. I kind of find that surprising that Scarf Dialga outspeeds +1 Blaziken, but I guess that the base speed of Dialga is higher than Blaziken, so it makes sense that it would do. I actually managed to get off a -2 Draco, which, though it doesn't kill him, it leaves him in the perfect range for Rayquaza to come in here and go for the extreme speed with which I'll be able to finish him off. I only have Rayquaza left, and I also have Arceus, and this is why, obviously, I've said this many times before, I've used this, not this team, but I always use Arceus, and I always use Choice Band or Rayquaza, because they are such potent late game switches sweepers. Extreme speed is a move that should be feared in Ubers, and lots of things are frail. I mean, Skymin's frail, Darkrai's relatively frail, you've got Deoxys forms that are frail. Lots of things are susceptible to extreme speed in Ubers, which is exactly why I carry it on 2 pokes individually, and they usually, more than likely, clean up at the end of the game, which is exactly what happened there. Rayquaza cleans out his last 2 dudes, and I am left with the big W. So I hope you guys enjoyed this match. If you did, feel free to check out my own channel. That link will be down in the description below, and I generally upload content of this nature semi-regularly to regularly to very regularly. It depends on my mood at the time. I will see you guys next time on the PokeMoshPit. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. What's up, PokeMoshPit? NBZ here, bringing you a Black 2 White 2 battle. My first Black 2 White 2 battle upload onto this channel, and I thought we might as well just kick it off in style. I'm using a Ditto, I'm using some cool stuff like Haxorus with Superpower, Roosting Hydreigon, Stealth Rock Cobalion, Ice Punch Conkeldurr, loads of cool stuff, and I got a game here, and we'll see how it goes down. So I'm going to lead off with my goat, and my goat is a Stealth Rocking goat because it got Stealth Rock, and I think that's cool, so I thought I want to use it, and I like the goat in general, so might as well go with that. Unfortunately for me, he's leading off with an Azelf, and he has Taunt on the Azelf, so he's going to taunt me straight away, lock me down, make me unable to do my rock setup, and I'm going to have to switch out to something. I decided to go into my Dragonite, simply because I know he's going to go for rocks of his own. If he's a Taunt Azelf set, if he's a lead Azelf set, he is definitely going to get rocks down. So that's exactly what he does. He U-turns straight out, unfortunately breaking my multi-scale. He actually gets a crit there because, as you could probably tell, it wouldn't have done that much had it not been a crit, because multi-scale's active and it's not very effective and it's on stab and he probably has no attack investment or something. But it does a significant amount still, I guess, for a U-turn with multi-scale active. None of that matters, of course, because I just killed a Terrakion with an Outrage, so that works out perfectly. This is a choice banded Dragonite with obviously multi-scale and superpower, but also, you know, Outrage and all the other good things. Unfortunately for me, though, he brings in Jolteon, which is clearly going to outspeed me, and he has HP Ice. So that's kind of a kick in the nuts, because I can no longer use Dragonite. Locked into Outrage, couldn't switch. But the good thing about this is that he is most likely Specs, so I can get the free switch into my Cobalion, and not only get up the Stealth Rock on the switch, but also go for whatever I choose on this Scizor. Now, he was probably expecting me to switch here, fearing the superpower, but in all honesty, I didn't feel that I needed the GOAT too much anymore. So, you know, I'd got Stealth Rock up and it was fine, so I decided to stay in and go for the T-Wave, maybe get a Parallax or something, or maybe even, you know, just catch something else as he switches or predicts or whatever. But I got the Scizor Thunder Wave did, it is paralyzed, and now he goes for the U-turn, which does absolutely nothing to me, goes out into his Groudon, which is a Rotom actually, because I almost got confused there, but obviously wouldn't have a Groudon in a standard match, would you now? Jesus. But Rotom here is going to just flaff around and do whatever the hell it likes, go for Hydro Pump. I'm not worried, and the reason I went for Taunt here is because in the stream I thought I saw Rotom have lefties, so I thought it was a defensive one. Turns out it's Scarfed with Hydro Pump, so that kind of doesn't play into my plans at all, and unfortunately for him, he's going to miss the Hydro Pump, but at least I know now what it is, so I kind of have a better idea as for next time. But I don't want to stay in and take another Hydro Pump, so I'm going to switch out and go to my Hydreigon to hopefully take one. He actually goes out into his Scizor, thinking that he probably wanted to take some like close combat or something from me. I didn't really know what he was going to do, but he went out into it, I guess maybe to stop paralyzed. Maybe he predicted a Thunder Wave or something. And Hydreigon comes in, and the problem that my Hydreigon has is it doesn't have a fire move, so I can't actually threaten that Scizor in any way. But the good thing is that it's a Hydreigon, so the threat of a fire move is imminent, just regardless of whether I have one or not. And so it's basically good that he obviously thought that, and I got a free substitute on the switch to Dragonite, which now that Multiscale is broken, I'll be able to take it out with the Dragon Balls. Now this is a weird Hydreigon set. It is a bulky set with Substitute and Roost, and then Dual Stab, so I have Dark Pulse and Dragon Pulse. I should really switch that. I should change it to Dragon Pulse plus Fire Move, whatever fire move I guess to choose, but Fire Blast is a bit risky, but I don't know, because I know Dark Pulse and Dragon Pulse doesn't really do the work, especially when you're facing off against Steel types. That's a bit of a problem, but fortunately I'm able to take out the Dragonite. In comes the Azelf, and I think that it's probably just going to U-turn straight out, but on the off chance that it wanted to stay in and do something weird like taunt me to prevent me subbing up, he is going to, I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse, and he goes into Scizor, so that's definitely not going to do a lot to the Scizor at all. It's kind of crippled, I guess, but it's still annoying that it's still alive, because it still has Bullet Punch, and Bullet Punch is always threatening, always a problem. So I'm going to go into probably my bulkiest thing, which is my Repulsion, my Conkeldurr here, and I'm thinking, unfortunately for me, actually this is a sub-punch one, so the problem with that is that I don't really have the room to get a substitute off, especially if he's Bullet Punching me all the time. So I decided to go for the Mark Punch. I know it's a probable 2-hit KO at this point, so I'm going to do it and see how much it does. And it looks like 2-hit KO after that. Fortunately, he gets paralyzed, so he's not able to get another Bullet Punch off, which leaves me in just over half HP. I should be able to take him out from this range, hopefully not taking any more damage from the Bullet Punch, but alas, ladies and gentlemen, he lives, like somehow. I don't even know what damage variation went on there, but he did, with a tiny minuscule amount, and unfortunately I take the Bullet Punch hit, which I didn't really want to take, but I took it anyway, so hey, that's what you're going to do sometimes. Life shits on you and you have to take the consequences, but there you go. Mach Punch will finish him off though, and Scizor is no longer a problem. I can not have to worry about it anymore, so fantastic. He goes into a Poodle, which is Jolteon. What I really should have done here is I should have gone to Ditto. Ditto basically would have taken the Thunderbolt very nicely. I didn't really want to though, just because on the off chance he predicted that and went for like a Shadow Ball or something, and I wouldn't really appreciate it too much. But I stay in with the Repulsion, but then the good thing about this now is that he is locked into Thunderbolt, so I can go straight into Jolteon, Imposter into him, get the Volt Absorb onto myself, obviously, outspeed him with the Scarf, go for the Shadow Ball, and do as much damage as I can. Doesn't kill him, but gets a special defense drop, but he stays in, as you can see, meaning that, you know, he obviously probably, I don't even know what he was doing there. I guess he didn't think that I got Volt Absorb after Imposter, but I do. Imposter copies everything, even stat boost, so there you go. So yeah, I'm able to go for another Shadow Ball freely as he switches into his Rotom. I guess he wanted to keep his Jolteon around because it's quite a useful player for him in this late game, and you know, it'll do good things. So obviously not going to kill it with another Shadow Ball. I'm going to switch straight out to Hydreigon to take the Hydro Pump, and kind of death fodder at this point. If he misses a Hydro Pump, great. If not, then you know, Hydreigon kind of served its purpose anyway, and you know, killed Dragonite and did all that good stuff. So I'm not too bothered about it. I let it die here, and he doesn't miss a single Hydro Pump, so he is going to take me out cleanly. But of course, he's now locked into Hydro Pump, which means, ladies and gentlemen, I can simply go into my Haxorus, be able to take the resisted hit, and be able to go for the Choice Banded Earthquake, because if you don't remember, Haxorus has Mold Breaker, which means that Levitate will be nullified. So he has Azelf, he has Rotom, and he has Jolteon. So none of those three Pokemon want to take an Earthquake. It is very safe for me to lock myself into it, so that's exactly what I do. And there you go. He goes into Jolteon and dies to Stealth Rock actually on switching, so didn't even have to kill it. In comes Azelf, which I don't think can really do much to me, so I'm going to stay in and just go for the Earthquake. I don't think it can kill me. Then he pulls out a normal Gem Explosion out the bag, and I'm like, well, balls. At least I still have stuff left to deal with the Rotom, but Haxorus is dead, so that's kind of unfortunate. I was hoping maybe it would be able to do some Mold Breaker Earthquaking shenanigans, but alas, it goes down to the Explosion hit in my face. In comes Rotom though, and at this point I have two options. One, I can go into Ditto, turn into Rotom, outspeed him and kill him with a Thunderbolt, or two, I can go into my Goat, take the Hydro Pump and go for the Close Combat. I decide to choose two because I like the Goat more, and you know, I just want it to kill with Close Combat, so that's what I do. Let it kill with Close Combat. Rotom is dead. That is going to be the game, and that's a narrow 2-0 victory. So it was a pretty interesting one. It wasn't really a team that I used. I kind of just threw things together that I just recently salved up, because obviously Black 2 White 2 had some nice changes to it and some new things that required my salving attention, or should I say genning, because I have to use fucking Pokegen right now. Pokegen is literally the worst fucking shit in the universe. Anyone who says it's better than Salve is mentally retarded. Cough, Wild Chase, cough. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed this battle, feel free to check out my own channel. That will be in the description. And otherwise, yeah, goodbye. Thanks for watching, and sub the Mosh Pit and all that good shit. And Ferris is cool. Goodbye.